What up, Dota Scrubs? This is Solaris X. I am back with an episode of the Scrubcast where you get to enjoy a replay cast by a professional caster. Actually, nobody's paid me any money to do this. Actually, I shouldn't say that. YouTube does occasionally pay me like a dime. Thank you for subscribing because occasionally that dime really comes in handy. So, by the way, somebody commented and said that my voice sounds like somebody from some TV show, which is great. So I can talk like this the whole time if you like. If that's entertainment, is that going to increase my hits? Maybe. You going to subscribe to me? More likely to if I talk like that. Anyway, the Scrubcast is here. I just cast this game. Yes, I did. I cast Sumail the Mirana. This is EHOME versus Evil Geniuses. This is the was it international? What day was that? Day, I don't know, 4 or something like that. This was a group stage game? No, it was not a group stage game. This was a different stage game, I believe. This was one of the main event games, I believe. Anyway, I just cast it from the perspective of a Mirana, played by Sumail, but I promised in that video, because after watching it and getting into the video, I decided I really needed to cast a perspective of the Faceless Void as well, because really these two heroes in combination they won the game for Evil Geniuses. And as I already said before, if you have not watched this as a cast, you really need to go watch it. You need to go back and you need to go and let Blitz and all Capitalist and all those other folks, they need to cast it for you so you can feel the satisfaction and the jaw-dropping action of an amazing game, probably the best game you'll ever see in Dota. So, but I already cast one version of this with Mirana, but there's a whole lot that was happening that you didn't see that was going on the Faceless Void, and so much of this game was on the back of Universe and the Faceless Void, and boy did he play a really good Faceless Void. So I want to go ahead and do this. You know what? I've got infinite time, right? What the hell? You don't have to watch this video. You don't like it? You can go to another video. You can go to somebody else's video. But I'm going to bring this I'm going to play this video from the Universe's perspective, which is what we do here in the Scrubcast. Instead of just watching replays to learn how to play heroes by yourself, you can watch replays with me. And I'll tell you what they're doing if I can catch up. I'm not the best caster in the world. I am a scrub at both casting and playing Dota, but I'm getting better. If you keep watching me, maybe I'll keep making more videos, and maybe I'll be even better. So anyway, this game we had a lineup, Juggernaut on EHOME and Timbersaw, plus I'm guessing a Beastmaster core. They had Warlock and Ogre Magi, kind of crazy little supports there. Remaining. And then in addition to that, well, EG went with a very strange lineup in my opinion. I only see, in terms of damage dealing, I see what, a Mirana? So the question here, that you could see the way that, and by the way, a lot of these games I've been casting lately, one of the things I've noticed is professional players in these major tournaments seem to be putting, and I think because people have watched how OG does this, they've been putting a large emphasis on what I'm calling gas pedals and brakes, and initiation and disengage, engage and disengage. So you'll see these teams put together these lineups that can engage and disengage, especially when you've got a lineup involving a Faceless Void. And I think that's partly where this meta is creating this kind of engage and disengage thing. And I'll explain this more in detail, but you have heroes that can engage, like a Faceless Void, but EHOME counterpicks with heroes that can disengage, or at least completely turn a fight, like a Beastmaster with a Roar, and a Warlock with a offering, the chaotic offering, the ultimate, the golems, and the thing is, what you end up having is like 2 or 3 initiators, or like one big disengage. I've seen Naga Siren go up against. I think that was what DC was picking all the time. Anybody picked a Faceless Void, they'd pick a Naga Siren. They were pretty successful with it. So you've got a situation here where EG, I think, had to pick up a couple of initiators. They had to have the Axe, and I think that was the last pick, Axe, and a Void, because Chaotic Offering just really throws a monkey wrench into the Void's initiation. So anyway, that's what they're going to have to play around. Universe is an excellent player, truly excellent player. By the way, EG has basically all but broke up at this point. This is after the International. EG's left, I think, just Universe and PPD, if I'm not mistaken. Fear out, Sumail out, Zai out. So maybe Zai. I think Zai and Fear want to play together, or Zai and Sumail want to play together. And I think EG kicked Fear. I think those two left on their own after Fear left. I'm not really sure, but anyway, we'll find out. So this game is shaping up to be awfully strange. The way that there's really you don't have any big carries coming out of EG. You get big carries coming to EHOME. Juggernaut, obviously a fantastic carry through pretty much every stage of the game. They've got a pretty well-rounded lineup. The Warlock obviously being the X factor here. EG going with the Fear Axe, which also is also kind of an X factor. They've got late game Siege with the Shadow Demon lineup, but the question is, the Mirana in the other video I showed you, just the ridiculous damage output she had. But getting into the game on this one, looks like the Faceless Void, Universe here, is in the safe lane, an unusual lane for him. He's up against a Ogre Magi, which, by the way, I could not have predicted these lanes. I tried, I think, in the last video. It didn't really work out. PPD over in the Ancient Apparition providing some lane support, some lane dominance, just putting pressure here on the Ogre Magi while Universe does his best to get some farm. He actually missed that. Come on, folks! I don't know how many professional players I have seen miss some really, last hits there. Like, you missed that one, too. Come on, Universe. You got money on the line, buddy. Anyway, he has 8 tangos. He predicted potentially, I think, a tri-lane here. It's one of the reasons why he's in this lane. He is really the core, probably the core in this game, other than Mirana. Mirana has the mid lane, and so the question is, where is Universe going to go? So he probably anticipated a very difficult lane, got all these tangos, got himself a stout shield, got a quelling blade even, and a healing salve. He was ready to go to GG branch. He actually just picked up the Slippers of Agility. He's going to go for the Poor Man's Shield. And Axe, Fear on the Axe gets his ass kicked and dies. Good job. Fear, old man Fear, that's why you were kicked! Not true. I don't know why he was kicked, but Fear is an excellent player, and he always has been. I'm surprised they kicked him. Maybe looking for new blood. I don't know. But Universe continuing to farm away here in the bottom lane. He's not checking out anything. He's not really looking anywhere. PPD's doing the hard work in the lane. You can see PPD keeping this Ogre Magi, played by Old Lanham here, or Lanham. He's not that old. He's not close to as old as I am, 31 years old. So anyway, Old Lanham on the Ogre Magi, just doing his best to get some creep farm here over in the woods. He's using an illusion rune to farm these creeps, which actually prevents PPD from pulling these little creeps, or pulling the creeps to the lane and pulling the creep wave back a little bit. So PPD gonna go actually Lanham uses Bloodlust to get himself out of the lane. He gets a level 2, and PPD just chasing him down, doing PPD's job there. One of the things I've started to do a little bit more here in the Scrubcast is, even though I'm watching from mainly one player's perspective, obviously this is a team effort, and you can't just do everything on your own, even in pubs. I think we all know that. And if you think you can, then you're a fucking idiot. So, PPD here is creating a situation where Ogre Magi can't do anything in this lane. Universe already has 2 points in Time Walk. Use it every 18 seconds. It's a really great initiation tool, really great escape tool. He's not running into any opposition here. He went ahead and put a second level in the time lock. I imagine he's probably going to level that up at this point just so he can continue getting last hits. Also putting pressure on Lanham. If he can get a series of bashes, that might be the death of Lanham because, jeez. That's because if you get the Ancient Apparition, you combine all of his spells early on, especially the Chilling Touch. And if you get a bash or two on, even with an Ogre, Ogres are tanky little guys. 8 armor, 800 health at this point in the game. He's got a Windlace to help him, and boots. He is a really hard guy to kill, but if you get a couple of bashes plus the Icy Touch there, the Chilling Touch, that is potentially going to be enough to kill, especially because the Faceless Void can just time walk in. So, in many ways, this is kind of a boring introduction to, how to play this hero, because this is not the hard lane. This is an extremely easy start, made possible by the rest of his team. Sumail playing mid, doing Sumail things mid, as I cast in the previous match. PPD, by the way, taking pretty much all the damage here from Old Lanham. Universe getting a couple bashes, and this is the advantage of the Windlace plus the boots. He's going to outrun Universe. Universe does have the slow. He actually picked up the Orb of Venom, I think, to help PPD it with the Ogre there. He also has the Poor Man's Shield if he needs to push the lane or, you know, hit the Ogre Magi in lane. He does have the boots, and he's going to go ahead and go for the fat boots here, the fat red boots. Stat boots, and but you know this safe lane is brought to you by a PPD who's helping him out. He actually uses the salve on PPD, which is really good because he doesn't need the salve. Universe can time walk off almost any damage is going to be done to him. There's going to be no rotations. Was a Beastmaster going to leave the lane? I mean, Beastmaster's I guess in the jungle, so there could be a Beastmaster rotation. Doesn't really know. But Warlock, you know, without an ultimate, I'm not sure what good that's going to do. And Warlock will not be having an ultimate anytime soon, although he does have level 4. There's a smoke, but all the players on EHOME that could potentially gank Universe are way totally different lane, and I think that's going to be a problem for them. But also, Universe, you know, Faceless Void is so hard to gank early on because of the way not only can he escape, but he just the damage reduction from Time Walk. He actually TPs in here, gets blown up a little bit by the Timbersaw. He uses the Time Walk to try to get out, but he can't. He can't avoid the ultimate from Old 11. Beastmaster ult plus Ice 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 damage from a Whirling Death. That's going to be death. So Faceless Void is tanky as he is. Well, I shouldn't say tanky. He's not particularly tanky, but he is elusive. He is the slippery hero. And he can walk off some of that damage. Did not realize he'd be TPing into a 3-man team. And, of course, EHOME having the opportunity to take out pretty much the main, well, probably the position 1 or 2 at this point. Go ahead and took that opportunity. So Sumail in the top lane. It's going to be a better opportunity here for Universe to do something about this. Fear about ready to die. I wonder if they're going to deny him. I guess not. So Universe back in the top lane. Maybe they're going to switch it up here. Maybe they're going to put some people in the bottom lane. It's a very easy lane. Finally, the top lane is pushed in past the tower, so Universe can farm here at least until the creep wave goes past the river. He has the escape tools, but again, you just saw when 3 heroes are against him and there's a Primal Roar involved, he's not going to be able to escape from that either. He doesn't have a TP. He's going to have to rely on Time Walk and just general boots of speed to get himself over here. Sumail on a potential dire straits, very low health. He's going up against a Timbersaw. You could easily kill him. Instead, Universe is going to try to take over the lane a little bit. Zai over here on the Shadow Demon, ready to do some damage. Looks like Universe caught between the mid lane and the bottom lane. Not going to sit in the top lane because the damage has been done, and there goes Ogre Magi. Instead, he's going to farm in the woods. He's got the regen here. He's got 3 tangos left. He's almost to his boots. He's going to be able to get his boots right now. Going to be able to counter-initiate on the enemy team now that he has a level 6 Chronosphere. We'll see if Sumail is in the area. He's going to require some assistance to get a kill on this, and they want to use this every single time they get a chance to use the Chronosphere. They're going to do it. They really need to. They need to keep pressure up on EHOME. And as I saw in the other video, Sumail really was starting to put some serious pressure on Old Chicken here, and this is what happens. You combine the power of a Universe Chronosphere into an arrow, into a couple bashes, and Old Chicken ain't got nothing he can do about it. Ain't got nothing. He's dead. Dead. So that's the power, and they had wards up here to see that he was going for that, so Universe was in a good position. He used the rune as an opportunity to go ahead and grab a gank, and now he's going to push mid lane, and they're going to lose somebody here in their bottom lane. And there goes Fear. Died quite a bit in the early game, unfortunately. So one of the things I think a lot of scrub players don't realize, I didn't realize this until, you know, not that long ago. Sumail, I think, solo killing Warlock over there. Is that when your enemy team is pushing against one of your towers, because there's 2 or 3 of them, you can defend, or you can push another tower. And what it does, I mean, you can push it with under strength too. You don't have to push it with the strength they have. You can push it with 2 heroes. In fact, you could split up your heroes and push 2 towers till they're pushing 1 tower. That's what you got to do, I think, in these matches. And you saw Universe going ahead, putting a little bit of pressure on the mid lane. I'm not sure any pressure was put on the top lane. EG, I think, withheld that. But EHOME takes the bottom tower. EHOME putting pressure around the map. They took the top tower. They're about ready to take the mid tower. Universe farming the jungle as best as he can. They have no wards. He's having to use his time walk to get out as quickly as possible. As soon as he saw somebody come in there to mid lane, he was afraid of a gank attempt. And they actually scan. They know that there's the EHOME is in that area. He was actually very smart to get out of there. Universe, a very intelligent player, really knows how to play the game. Picks up a headdress. He's going to go for a Vlad's. This is going to help him speed up his farm. It's also going to enable Roshan. So nice pickup from him. I'm sure, I think Sumail at this point, Sumail walking around with Phase Boots and Ring of Oculi. He's going for an Ag Scepter. He's maintaining that rune control. And then there's an initiation up here on mid-tower. This is EHOME's attempt to get this tower. What's Universe going to do? He actually TPs in. He's looking for an opportunity for Chronosphere. He might go ahead and grab Old 11. There it is. He uses the opportunity to grab Old 11. He actually misses Old Chicken, which is unfortunate because he's about to die. His time walk is on 6 seconds. He doesn't have the heals. He doesn't have any escape mechanisms. And so, yeah, he kills the guy who was probably going to die anyway. Or not. I don't know. But that's a loss there for Universe. He did his best. He saved the Chronosphere. He tried to use it, you know, at a good opportunity. But there's a, yeah, Sumail revealing his location. Not good! Run away! God, he almost dies. It's so close. He's lucky. But, you know, Universe did his best there, and despite his best, you know, the EHOME was just positioned such that they were not going to lose. They were not going to get, you know, I'm sorry, Universe was not going to get like a 4 or 5 man Chronosphere. It just wasn't going to happen. And of course, Universe doesn't want necessarily a 4 or 5 man Chronosphere. He's looking for good targets. He had hoped, I think, his TP would scare people off, but, you know, and by the way, you could have walked up there until a time walked in, but as you can see, when you time walk into a situation like that, you might not be able to time walk out. And the second cooldown, I think, at that point was, I think, that may have been his, he may have not had his level 8, so he may have only had 3 points into his time walk, which meant he didn't have the 6-second cooldown, which meant that if he had just saved his time walk, then he would have been able to potentially save himself. Now, this is an example of where a Faceless Void is just so dangerous in the game, because he was over there farming, and then a Beastmaster walks in and uses the Hawk to probably scan out, to scout out Universe. Doesn't matter. He does an ultimate damage with no follow-up from the rest of his team, so Universe just walks it off. Walks it off. So, one of the nice things about, I think, the Vlad's build-up is it's very easy. You get the headdress, you get a little few attributes, you get a little health regen, which is helpful for Faceless Void's farming. You get the Ring of Basilius, which is also helpful, and then you eventually, I mean, you get the Orb of Venom, I think, at some point, too. Morbid Mask maybe would have been a better choice to continue to heal while he hits, but at the same time, he was looking for that build-up as best as possible. EHOME is pushing in, and you need to pick up the items as best as possible when you get the money to do so. And since almost all of his gold is going to be unreliable gold coming from these little creep camps, he wants to make sure he buys things as he goes. So here's a gank attempt. Chronosphere online. PPD leading the charge. They're thinking about Ice Ice Ice. Universe in position to time walk in if he wants to. Ice 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 is out of position, although he's walking back. So there's the problem. Old Lanham going to get killed. PPD committing the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. Now they're going to instead push this tower, and the threat of a Chronosphere is potentially going to be enough here to keep the power on EG's side. And especially since the Ogre Magi is down, then this is an opportunity for EG to take out a tower. They've got 2 or 3 people in the area, and the enemy should be careful. Except when the enemy takes Roshan. So a brilliant move by EHOME. EG thinking that, you know, they had kind of the checkmate on that one. There should be checkmate, I guess, until the game ends. But they had the check there on that one. But it was not checkmate, folks. EHOME had the actual better option. They used the Aegis. They got the Aegis. Here's Old Chicken. He might die in a Chronosphere here. It depends on whether the Universe is going to commit it. He decides he wants to leave. He's afraid of what's sitting behind the Juggernaut. Although there's also Moonlight Shadows committed as well. So they were terrified about what's going to go on there. Maybe they thought there was a mass TP by EHOME. Instead, looks like there's a gank attempt on mid. That's going to be an Ice Blast. Fear whiffing his ultimate there. Set up by a Sumail, an arrow, I believe. So Universe still looking for an opportunity to use this Chronosphere. He's not farming this entire time. He's slowly accumulating gold. Well, he was farming a little bit, I think, up by the top tower, but he had to quickly vacate. He's going to go back to farming. He does not want to fall too far behind. He does not have even Vlad's, and it's 15 minutes into the game despite having an incredibly easy lane, which is another reason why if you've got a hero that can do well in a hard lane, sometimes just give him the stupid lane and focus on somewhere else. If you've got a hero like Faceless Void, he's hard as hell to gank. He's pretty good in lane. You don't have really the ability to just completely shut him down, and it takes a lot to shut him down. Then just leave the lane to him, because even if he farms, he's not farming that quickly. And you've got heroes like Juggernaut and Timbersaw and Beastmaster that can farm way faster than Universe can. At least a Faceless Void Universe. So Universe really trying to get his 300 gold here for Vlad's. He'll have it very quickly. He's going to be able to get it once he comes down here in this bottom lane. He's probably not going to commit a Chronosphere, but you can see the power of the Chronosphere being online is that Timbersaw gets the hell out. Because if you were to overstay his welcome, TPs come in, and all of a sudden, Sumail with the huge burst damage at this point, he's getting close to that Ags. And that's going to be a change the game opportunity. So Universe going to TP into top lane here, try to get in range, but the gank is too strong from EHOME, and they lose Sumail very, very quickly. Universe just now grabbing his Vlad's, pulling it off the courier. Sticking with his mana boots, by the way, knowing that most of the stuff he does right now is using his mana. Once he gets in the Chronosphere, he'll probably pop over to agility. Or if he's farming a lane, he'll probably pop it over to agility. Something I have tried to work on a little bit better. Yeah, see, he pops over agility. As a scrub, I have tried to work on this tread swapping. It's not easy. You have to really be, you know, I guess focused. My problem is that I can't focus very well on more than one thing, so you have to learn. You have to play it a lot and really kind of get toward this game as second nature. This is initiation opportunity here. Looks like EHOME may have overstayed their welcome. They really want this tower, and Universe isn't in a position to deny it. He's actually leaving it out a little bit. He wants to see if he can bait EHOME into trying to take it. He wanted that Chronosphere. That's pretty smart. I might consider doing that one of my games because I know that, you know, scrubs would fall for that. And boy, do I play against some idiots. You know how I know I play against idiots? Because I'm an idiot. And people on my teams are typically idiots. Typically. It's nice to occasionally have a game where their people seem like they're rather competent at the heroes they're playing. And you're like, yeah, this feels good. It's a close match. Even if you lose, it's still a good game. But, God, sometimes you just got to wonder. So, Universe still farming about. EG struggling to keep their farm up because EHOME is pushed in, pressured. The noose is constricting around EG. Top lane gone. Top lane tier 1 tower gone. Tier 1 tower mid gone. Tier 2 tower mid now gone. Tier 3, 1 and 2 tier towers gone to bot lane, and now the tier 3 is ready to go. EG or EHOME pushing in on that. Universe decides to head back to base. He wants to be in position for a Chronosphere here. The entire team is gone. There is no team fight here on EG. There's a fear initiation. Old Chicken is actually way out of position. He's going to allow Old Chicken to die. Now it's round 2. There's Moonlight Shadows committed. Time Walk into a Chronosphere to stop Old Chicken from doing anything. Here comes the massive commitment from EG. That kills Old Chicken off. There's the Chaotic Offering to counter. Chaotic Offering followed by a Roar. Fear jumps back in. Universe was actually protected by a Shadow Demon Disruption. He is going to walk this off. No, he dies. But it doesn't matter because EG has pulled off a very important critical fight. Sumail, Azai, PPD, they are going to chase down and punish EHOME for what they did in EG's base to the tower. So when the arrow connects, no, it does not connect. But that's the power of a Faceless Void Chronosphere. It's not just that you've disabled one person. It's that you have this persistent AoE effect for a period of, 5 seconds? 4.5 seconds. Eventually 5. Nobody can walk in there. And look at the lineup of EHOME. They have 4 melee heroes. What are they going to do? Nothing. They can't get in there. The most that Ogre Magi can do is toss in a stun on Universe, but Universe is not the one putting out most of the damage. So if you've got your team on the left, your team on the left, Chronosphere in the middle, their team on the right, and their team is a bunch of melee heroes, then the only person that they're going to be able to focus on the right is the Universe on the Chronosphere. But he's committed to Chronosphere, so he's almost useless after that point. So all their attacks are going to go on a hero that's basically useless. and all of your attacks are going to go on a hero that you really want to kill. And the rest of the team can't do anything about that, really. They don't have the ability to get across that area. The most that they can do is cast a Chaotic Offering, which is not enough, as you can see. It was good, but not enough. So Universe sitting back here. He doesn't have his Chronosphere. He probably wants to wait 20 seconds. He's probably telling EG to back up, get in position to counter-initiate once they have the power. Zai TPing out. Fear taking the fall for that one. He tanked that gank like a champ. Like a champ. So Void was going to go for the Blink Dagger. I think Universe realizes that the Blink Dagger is not, it's just too big of a build-up right now, and he doesn't have the farm potential. He needs to do whatever he can to try to farm faster and go up against these big, basically these big creep waves that are going to start coming after them. So instead of going for a Blink Dagger, he goes for a Manta. I think that's a good pickup here. It's going to help him push the lanes and counter push. It's going to allow him to scout a little bit, which they need because they currently don't have any information because look at the wards. Very difficult wards. And EHOME's pushing into the base. Universe is ready to go here. They're looking for a kill. But there's a Timbersaw in the bottom lane that's about ready to kill PPD. So Universe actually TP's in. He's going to commit the Chronosphere. He time walked into this. He actually time lapses. I'm sorry, time dilation. So Ice is not going to be able to escape. Fear comes in, grabs the, or pulls him in with a call, and then they just kill him off. So they were looking for the kill up top. They saw the opportunity on bottom. PPD taking most of that damage, almost going to die. Instead, they turn that into a kill against an important hero who at this point probably has a Bloodstone and less charges on that Bloodstone. So that was a good kill. That's worth the commitment of a Chronosphere. As I was saying, Manta style is going to be helpful. It's going to help him push back these lanes. It's going to help him farm. It's going to help him scout out so that he can actually do a little bit more farming. Use those illusions to move about. You got the creep wave pushing forward. You can use the illusions to go mid. Use illusions to go, you know, a little bit ahead of you so you can avoid the gank. Also, I think it's going to help him avoid, I'm guessing, well, there's no silences really on the enemy team at this point, but I'm not sure that's going to help him avoid anything from the enemy team. Maybe a extremely well-timed Manta can stop a Ogre stun or something. I'm not really sure if that's a viable option, but also the Manta is good. They're good stats. Keeps them alive a little bit longer. Allows them to farm a little bit more efficiently. The attack speed, armor, you know, additional damage, very helpful. The Blink Dagger has a longer build-up. Which is fine if you have you're in a rich situation, you have decent map control, and right now they actually do have decent map control. But it's great. But it's a big build-up. You have the potential of losing all that gold, especially because most of his gold is unreliable gold. And you know, all you're doing is setting up initiations. And if you're going to be aggressive, that's great. A Blink Dagger is awesome, and I'm sure he wants to get one at some point in this game. But if you're very defensive, you don't need a Blink Dagger. The enemies are literally walking into your Chronospheres. That's exactly what happened from Old Chicken last time. So, and also, Fear is really the initiator here. He is the one that already has a Blink Dagger, and he is blinking in, he is calling, and then Universe is following up with the Chronosphere. Now here, we're going to watch this again. EG going to go on the offensive. The power has shifted now that Faceless Void's Chronosphere is online. I'm sure Chaotic Offering is online, and they're going to do what they can. EHOME going to do what they can to counter-initiate, but the thing is, Chaotic Offering might come down, but by then the damage is probably done, and the Chaotic Offering is probably only going to hit Universe, who's in the middle of the Chronosphere, because of the way that these fights go. Of course, the positioning does matter. Here's a smoke into a Moonlight Shadow. PPD really close. Here's the opportunity right here. They see two heroes. Universe is just waiting for the perfect opportunity to go for it. And there's Fenrir, just walks in the wrong place at the wrong time. Universe looking for a counter initiation if EHOME decides to go on him or the rest of his teammates. It doesn't matter in this particular case because EHOME just runs away with his tail between its legs. Fenrir just tanking the gank on that one. Actually, pretty good kill for EHOME, considering they could have potentially lost a whole lot more Old Chicken in that area. So I don't know if they have a ward there or whatever. Maybe they just got spooked. Saw nobody on the map. Saw the creep wave pushing in on the bottom. Not really sure, but this is the problem, is that when you get a creep wave pushing in the bottom, EG wants to be aggressive, but they do have to occasionally go back to the bottom lane and farm that lane. And Universe might do that. It would be nice if they had boots of TP. I don't think Universe is going to have those anytime soon, though, nor is anybody else. We'll see. Yeah.
Double damage.
So instead, Universe is going to transition to more of a, they're going to eat a whole of EG, going to transition to more of a bottom position here. And they do see, at least they think they see what's going on here in Roshan once again. And that's actually going to put, that's going to put the hurt there on EHOME. Universe rushing to the area. He might be able to get a kill off of this, especially if somebody can come in and help him out. Maybe Sumail can leap forward. He probably has a Blink Dagger at this point. He does not. He went, oh, he does. He has the Blink Dagger, so good timing on his part. He's going to be able to participate a little bit better in these fights. Beastmaster Aurora on a PPD. PPD's ultimate was already committed, but with PPD dead, that's going to potentially enable EHOME to go after Roshan. Now the question is, what does Universe and Fear do here? Do they 1-2 punch, jump, Fear blink into call, Universe time walk into a Chronosphere? Looks like PPD buys back. They're going to go for it. Moonwalk Shadow's committed. Mirana probably in the area. They know Roshan's going to be in the area. Actually, EHOME decides to back up. I'm not sure what spooked them. Maybe a, oh, that's the Beastmaster hawked it. Looks like EG walked by, which is probably the reason for the smoke followed by the Moonlight Shadows. That's probably why that keeps seeing that happen. Universe finally finds Old Chicken. Looks like Mirana's in the area, and that's going to be a very dead Juggernaut. Universe's job is complete here. Now the rest of his team needs to leave. Instead, he's just going to continue to farm while the rest of his team is in the area. He's suffering from some shadow words. Some dark words are afflicting him, whatever that means. But he's going to be fine. He's got Vlad's. He's going to heal on every hit. Chop some trees out of the way here. Get those out of the way so you can farm a little faster. Now, EG going to potentially turn this into a Roshan. They're going to counter ward the area. Going to make sure they can at least see what's going on. 78 seconds, though, left in the Chronosphere. Beastmaster somewhere, Universe looking for it. I think he decides to just let whoever is going to die, die. That's PPD. PPD is hurt. He actually bought back to help counter the Roshan attempt. And EG did de-ward the Roshan area, but now that all of EHOME is online, Chaotic Offering online, you've got the bottom lane pushing, or top lane pushing in, if you're actually missing his gank there. But I think this is the opportunity for EHOME to take Roshan, and I'm not sure EG can do anything about it. They have to do something about the top lane. Universe has committed that area. The Chronosphere is not online for 44 seconds. The bottom lane is pushing in. The mid lane is across the river. And Timbersaw is somewhere in this area. He doesn't take Roshan very well anyway. So PPD not able to do anything with his Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. And EG's just not going to have the team fight to be able to stop the Roshan. So good move by EHOME. Smart. They're thinking about their timings here. Universe doing the best that he can do on EG, was just splitting the map, splitting it up, farming as best he can. You can see the positioning here of EG. We've got a guy top. Universe is farming mid. Somebody else is sort of near Universe, probably doing something. What's that? That's the Shadow Demon. Zai playing Shadow Demon, just kind of farming from afar with Shadow Poison, trying to avoid ganks. There was somebody bottom lane there as well. Fear. Universe finally picks up his Manta style. He's going to go for a Shadow Amulet and a Claymore. He's going to go for a Shadow Blade. Now, he was thinking about the Blink Dagger. He decides to go for Manta, and in addition to Manta, he's going to get a really good initiation tool, and you can see why that might be helpful here. Blink Dagger still enables the enemy to jump away, and there is a cast time to Chronosphere. So if you blink in, that Timbersaw might be gone. Beastmaster might ult you, and you might die. Also, it's a giant buildup, and it doesn't do much for your damage. So it's a very nice item, and he might still eventually get a Blink Dagger, but he's going to get a Shadow Blade here. If he wants to initiate, the Shadow Blade is going to be the most helpful item. I've seen, because you can just Chronosphere right out of invisibility, and there's nothing the enemy can do about it. But it also allows you to scout a little bit. You get a little more information out of the enemy when you have a Shadow Blade. And if you want, you can actually Manta style, create a couple of illusions, send them in toward the enemy to scout, and then you are sitting right next to those illusions, invisible. Nobody can see what's going on, and then boom, all of a sudden they're in a Chronosphere, and they thought there were just two illusions there. It's a great way to also kind of make your illusions more powerful. The enemy might start respecting those illusions a little more if they think that you're sitting there right next to them the whole time. So, Universe farming through the jungle. He sees everybody on EHOME mid. He feels free to go ahead and farm this lane. He's going to use farming this area is obviously riskier than farming inside the jungle. I mean, the enemy can see that you've got dudes there. I mean, their little creeps are giving them information. So, Universe farms both the jungle and the lane using the Mantis Star illusions for the farming in the lane. Universe has the Chronosphere. There is a PPD Ice Blast making its way to this lane. Looks like there's nobody in the area, though. Maybe Universe trying to put some pressure on EHOME, try to get them to think twice about pushing in their middle lane or pushing in their top lane. And there's a TP in. Chicken is in the area, so Universe immediately decides to jump out, thinking maybe he was revealed by the Hawk, the Beastmaster Hawk. Did not want to get killed there. That's a, I don't know how many seconds death on him at this point. Okay, fight breaking out on top. Universe not going to commit. He's actually going to stay back. They're going to allow PPD to die once again. Universe is deciding he wants to stay mid lane, prevent this tower from falling. Also, he's going to get a nice little farm here. He's going to actually get pretty close to the Shadow Blade, and he's not buying. I guess he's the first thing he's going to go. He's going to just buy the whole thing. I don't think he wants to reveal that he's going to have it here. So that's actually pretty smart. You know, you buy a Blink Dagger, you typically want to wait for it's revealed, and he's not going to pick up anything. He also may want to save for buyback. That's potentially true. We'll see how he uses that. I'm sure EHOME knows he's farming something. At this point, they might suspect it's a Shadow Blade. They might suspect it's a Blink Dagger. They're not really sure, I'm sure, because there's no way to tell. I mean, he can check his inventory, but he's got nothing. EG being very defensive. They see a couple heroes mid lane from EHOME. They see the Timber Saw coming in the top lane, being split pushed here, and it's not good. They're trying to figure out how to deal with this. It's very difficult. Obviously, the Chronosphere is going to be the most important thing to be able to help prevent this. Also, the Ice Blast, very helpful, stopping the lanes a little bit. Illusion's doing real work here. They're actually pushing in. We're getting decent information to EG. Universe looking for the initiation here on Timber Saw, if he can get it. He almost has enough. Is he actually switching up? He is switching up. He wants to get a Diffusal rather than... I wonder if he's going to buy it and then go for a Diffusal Blade. I'm not sure what he's doing. I thought the initiation tool... You know, he could... I mean, look at what's happening. He's getting split push. How do you stop a split push? You surprise the hell out of the guy who's split pushing you, and your entire team jumps on him. You got to catch him. And the Timber Saw is incredibly elusive, as is the Juggernaut, who has a Blink Dagger at this point and has the ability to get out of magical effects. So Universe is the only way to initiate on these heroes, but even then he's going to have problems if he's the one that initiates and he's roared by Beastmaster, or he is, you know, the Timber Chain gets out right as the Chronosphere goes off, and then you've wasted a Chronosphere, and that's very dangerous. Now, this might be the best time for EG here. They've got a cooldown, they've got Arcane Rune, they've got cooldowns lowered, got mana cost lower, which is less important, but most of the cooldown cost, they want to use this Chronosphere if they can. I imagine they're going to go very aggressive here. This is going to be a good opportunity for EG to be able to fight and then immediately fight after that. Although I'm not sure they're committing to that. They're just continuing to farm, allowing Universe to get his items. Maybe they want to get, you know, if he had invisibility at this point, he could just potentially walk in. The other thing I think... You could argue the invisibility from a Shadow Blade is overkill because they already have Moonlight Shadows, and that's not going to pop when the enemy sees them, so he can use it. It's got a decent length. Here's a smoke. Moonlight Shadows, I'm sure, to follow here. Let's see what happens. It's extending the length of an invisibility by their team. Universe in the area. He is leading the charge. He really wants a gank. He sees him up top here on top of this plateau. Is Moonlight Shadows going to commit it? There's Moonlight Shadows committed. Does he see the enemy? He sees the Beastmaster. He's immediately going to jump in. Blinked out. That's exactly one of the problems with having that initiation with the Time Walk. He actually gets a Chronosphere on top of one hero, Old Land on the Ogre Magi, not their favorite hero. He is so tanky. He takes a ton of damage, though, and dies, nevertheless. But that is exactly the reason why you need a Shadow Blade. Because if he had had a Shadow Blade, he would not have needed to blink in. Well, although at the same time, he was invisible, so I don't know why he didn't just walk in and just Chronosphere on top of their face. So I guess maybe that was potentially a bit of a mistake by Universe. At the same time, there were 2 or 3 clumped together. 2 or 3 heroes. And if you are a Chronosphere wielding Faceless Void, you really, really love to see that. And you just can't help it, I guess. So he revealed himself by jumping in, got the Blink Dagger to respond, and ended up actually causing the very thing he was worried about causing by walking forward. And now maybe they have... Okay, so here's part of the problem. And this is how scrubby I am. This is why I'm not very good. Now, I'll come back to this in just a second. There's 2 Chakrams sitting on top of Universe. He's trying to hit these towers, but the damage from the Timber Saw is immense. Although Sumail's damage is potentially just as bad. Look at that burst. Oh, the Timber Saw's damage wrecking EG. Universe is going to have to time walk away to avoid the damage. He currently doesn't have any mana. He grabbed the Gem of True Sight from the Beastmaster, who just bought back. He wants to get out of here. He does not want to die. He doesn't have any more time walks either, so he's going to take a lot of damage. And the enemy chasing him down. He might not be able to escape from this. Diffusal Blade on top of him. He's going to try to time walk away any potential damage. Going to get in TP range. He doesn't have enough mana. He has no mana. He cannot escape. He is dead. Gem down. Beastmaster gets it back. I'm guessing. There it is. So, okay. So part of the problem here, and I think maybe this is the whole reason why he did not get a Shadow Blade, at least initially, is because the Beastmaster had a gem. And when he saw the Beastmaster, I'm sure the Beastmaster saw him, and I'm pretty sure that's why he thought, I need to jump forward as quickly as possible and try to initiate on the Beastmaster before he sees what's going on. So, unfortunately, it was too late. Beastmaster saw him with the gem. By the time that Faceless Void jumped in, it doesn't matter. Beastmaster had blinked out. He could have roared. That would have been kind of a cool counter-initiation, but instead, he didn't have time to react, so he just blinked out. His team didn't have time to react, so EHOME didn't have time to react, so he just blinked out. So this is difficult. What does Faceless do? What does a Mirana team do when the Faceless Void is stuck initiating from a time walk? The Shadow Blade is not going to be the best item potentially here. Once again, he's going back. He keeps switching. You can see he did pick up the Diffusal Blade, so I think aid in damage and the ability to slow people down. Also purging. I think he potentially is going to purge. My guess is the Upheaval. Once that gets on top of him, he's going to be able to purge that. Also, any other spells? Yeah, I mean, look at this. Fire Blast is going to have, well, I can't purge the Fire Blast, but you can purge the Ignite, which is nice because that's got a slow on top. The Chronosphere back online. EG going to try to return the favor onto EHOME here, try to push into EHOME after hopefully getting a kill. EG suspects that EHOME is sitting around the Roshan pit. Universe sitting behind Fear, who is revealed. They're looking to see. Looking for this initiation. EHOME nowhere to be found. It's eerily silent. It's like they were afraid. They scanned to the left to see if EHOME was in the area. Scan reveals nothing. Zai Shadow Words disrupts. Actually, I think he misses. Or the illusions die. So now the Chronosphere's online. You can see once again EG being very aggressive here, even though there's creeps pushing in the top of the lane. I'm sure there's going to be a Timber Saw in that area. He's going to try to TP into EHOME's wherever they're going to choose to defend this. I'm sure that's where they're going to defend it, so that the Timber Saw or the Beastmaster, whoever's pushing that lane over there, can get back and help defend the base. So EG being very aggressive here. Universe looking for an opportunity to use a Chronosphere, but he is going to wait until the perfect opportunity. But here's Katic offering committed, Juggernaut ultimate committed, Beastmaster ult on top. Zai going to wait, going to potentially suffer through that entire ult, and that's going to be a Chronosphere on top of Old Chicken and the Beastmaster in response to the ult. So they're going to almost get a kill on Old Chicken. They do kill the Beastmaster. Unfortunately, they're going to have to leave because their damage is done. Chronosphere is committed. The Chakram's slow, and the Chakram damage is too strong. The Universe is going to have to just jump a little forward and TP away while Zai finishes off the rest of the attack by dying. Success is a really excellent way to not to end the gank is to die. So Universe, I think he was having problems there, and that's part of the problem. I mean, they got a great kill. They got a kill on. EG got a kill on the Ogre, and that was great. But then the Blink ultimate from Beastmaster stopped. I think I don't know who that was. Somebody in their tracks. It might have been Mirana. It was somebody. It was a Zai. That's right. Zai and the Shadow Team. And he actually tanked that ultimate there from Beastmaster for quite a while. And that's when Universe decided to go in and use the Chronosphere, probably to help save his team from being wiped. The Katic offering at that point, though, was up. And I think that the Katic offering golems just basically walked around the ultimate there and just tried to kill whoever was on the other side, and that's one of the disadvantages of using a Chronosphere in a fight where the enemy can just walk around the Chronosphere. It's not something they can easily do in the bottom lane and these other kind of choke points. So that's the reason why you typically want to have Chronosphere used in a choke point. So as the creep wave is pushed up top, EG decided to keep the pressure on. Chronosphere back up. Pressure is going to be on here. Looks like Universe is going to head commit to the Shadow Blade. He did not get a Blink Dagger. I don't know. I still don't know why exactly. Maybe they're going to use the Moonlight Shadows as... I don't really know. There's a gem, and that's going to be problematic for them with the Shadow Blade. They've already got problems with the Moonlight Shadows, so this is going to be interesting. I'm still surprised he decided to go for the Blink Dagger. Maybe he just wants the extra damage. Maybe he wants the ability to initiate more often than the Moonlight Shadows, which has a 100-second cooldown. Chronosphere has a 110-second cooldown. Okay, so maybe what they're doing is they're using this as an opportunity to gank twice, basically like 2 Moonlight Shadows, because if they use one and they don't successfully do it with that one, then they can use another one. They've got the Universe Shadow Blade. So Moonlight Shadow's committed. We're going to walk forward. There is a pesky boar doing damage, totally revealing and ruining the gank attempt here. Oh, there is a blink forward, or sorry, a time walk forward. Chronosphere almost on to 2. Old Chicken actually evades that. And oh my gosh, Universe needs to get the hell out of the way. There's a slow from the, I forget what that's called, Ignite. Universe going to have to time walk into the trees. He's going to probably evade this. That's nice. The entirety of EHOME running through, going to quickly go to bottom lane, and they're going to transition into a push here while PPD is down on the Ancient Apparition. Universe saving for buyback. If he kills all of the enemy team, or if he dies and has to buy back here, then he'll use whatever money he has to finish this Shadow Blade. Now, we'll see. We'll see how the Shadow Blade works out. Once again, Universe, he sees the opportunity. He sees 3 people together. But the time he blinks forward using his time walk and then actually casts the Chronosphere, it's just too late. It's just too late. The enemy, at least one enemy is gone. Another enemy is on the other side of that. His team is a little too far behind. So if his team's a little too far behind, then that's a problem. Nice Sumail in the battle here. He potentially blows up Old Chicken on the Juggernaut, but his damage is committed. His Ag's worked. His E-Blade gone. Universe even going to back off here. He doesn't have a Chronosphere. Now, maybe in 10 seconds or so, he'll go back into the fight. He might want to go ahead and pick up the rest of his... Although he can't. He cannot do that. He needs to save for buyback in case EHOME decides to push high ground. EG losing 2 heroes, I think, from the top lane. So this is difficult. EG going to have to survive here a little bit longer. EHOME pushing in the top lane, pushing in the mid lane. And the bottom lane, creep wave, is not quite that far in, but mid lane is already up to the towers. And what is EG going to be able to do to stop this? You've got the Manta illusions from the Juggernaut. Going to do some decent damage to this tower. And although Mirana's going to be able to take them out relatively quickly with her Starstorm damage, Universe has to sit back. He wants to be the initiator. He does not want to get initiated on by a Chaotic Offering followed by a Timbersaw. That's going to be bad. Or a Chaotic Offering followed by a Beastmaster, or a Beastmaster ult followed by a Chaotic Offering. You get the idea. He does not want to be initiated on, because if he is initiated on, then his Chronosphere's dead and he has to buy back. And it's just a very bad situation for EG. Game changes potentially when he gets this Shadow Blade, and the initiation's much stronger. I still don't know what he's going to do against this Beastmaster. I guess they're just hoping that they can get a little surprise there on the Beastmaster, and get the gem and maybe eliminate that. But I'm sure he'll buy another one as soon as he gets a chance. The Beastmaster will. I'm sure their buyback penalty is gone. Actually, it's sure it's in stock again. So EG, their positioning here has PPD basically just splitting up the lanes a little bit, mid lane and bottom lane, and they're trying to ward off this push as long as they can. I'm not sure, is there a I don't think there's a... Yeah, there's still an Aegis. Okay, so that's the kind of what's dictating this game right now. Juggernaut has an Aegis. EHOME continuing to put the pressure in all the lanes. EG trying to... They're staying high ground because they cannot do anything about... Or at least they're much less likely, much less capable of doing anything about EHOME's aggression while an Aegis sits on the Juggernaut. And there's Sumail picking up a Dagon, and the E-Blade Dagon combination, Starstorm, the combination, that's going to be very deadly. A Chronosphere with Sumail in the area is almost surely going to get a kill. So this could be it. Looks like EHOME committing to this bottom lane for the duration of the Aegis. Illusions pushing in, though Shadow Demon Zai actually taking those illusions and using them against EHOME by disrupting those illusions and then using it as counter push. And of course, Universe has his Manta style. He's basically walking up into these lanes, Manta style illusions. Okay, he actually works up at the wrong time. Fear almost dies there, but luckily he is force-staffed back. Universe going to potentially be in trouble here. He's going to have to get out of the upheaval while those giant golems are doing their thing. They're going to potentially lose this tower here. Fear is down. If he's going to buy back, though, that potentially could turn the fight. Universe staying in the bottom. He's not really moving. He wants to come in from the bottom to initiate on anybody who tries to push this tower too hard. It looks like the team is coming in. Juggernaut ult committed. Universe comes in. Actually, Chronosphere is on top of old land. Not a tremendous amount of damage except for the Ancient Apparition ultimate, plus the tower, plus Universe getting, I think, maybe a bash there. We'll see. Looks like Ice has a BKB. He's ice blasting away. I shouldn't say ice blast. He's winter... shit, what the hell is that thing called? Shiv is guarding everywhere. Shiv is guarding everywhere. Universe doesn't have anything really he can do here except time dilation and maybe hopefully get a couple of bashes. Timbersaw doing a ridiculous amount of damage. There's a second Beastmaster ultimate. I almost, if he bought back, or I don't know what happened there. Maybe it just came off a cooldown. He might have had a refresher orb. There is actually Old Chicken dying. The Juggernaut dying to a Mirana damage there from the Dagon, plus maybe the E-Blade from earlier, and EG is able to turn this around. EHOME overstays its welcome. I'm sure Faceless Void, see here, going to pick up his Shadow Blade. Come on. You got lots of money? You got plenty of money here. Maybe thinking of a better item. No, he's going to go ahead and commit to it. Question is, does he also get the ultimate orb of the Silver Edge? That's the question. He decides to wait a little bit longer. He's got 2,000 gold. He just needs to wait a little bit longer and he'll be able to have enough for buyback. And that's the reason is because he's going to push this enemy base very, very quickly. There's Cheese sitting in their enemy base. So they've got some nice backup. So Sumail already at the base of EHOME. Base of the base. The base of the base of EHOME. And Universe kind of lagging behind here. He has the ability to initiate, but doesn't want to doesn't reveal the Shadow Blade just yet. The question is, did the Beastmaster lose his... No, he did not. He did not yet lose his gem. So how's this going to work? Is Universe going to be able to get this initiation off? He's currently Moonlight Shadowed. He has the ability to engage after this, even after it wears off. EHOME might suspect if they see the Moonlight Shadow wear off, they might suspect they can go in. There's going to be no ability for them to counter-initiate, or EG to counter-initiate. But they're going to be mistaken because Universe might still be in Viz and might be sitting right next to them. So we'll see. Maybe that's the bait here. Maybe EG wants to reveal that there was a... Yeah, maybe that's why Sumail, in the last game I noticed Sumail was actually, he was frequently revealing the fact that he was in Moonlight Shadows, even in the middle of Moonlight Shadows. And the EG actually scanned the area and they see that there's EHOME in the area. It's like, it picks up a Silver Edge. He had enough for that. Universe thinking about trying to counter-initiate there, but the whole of EHOME is home, and EG is pushed out of position. The team is broken up. The lines have broken, and they are having to head back to base. Ancient Apparition PPD takes one for the team, and here's potentially the counter-initiation. Now, EHOME is not going to suspect this. This is a Silver Edge, not Shadow Blade, a Silver Edge now. And looks like Universe scouts it out. He was thinking about the Chronosphere, but instead he decides he's going to go ahead and kill a couple creeps. Now, he sees enemies there. He actually backs off because he sees the Beastmaster. Beastmaster blinks away. Universe thinking about another initiation here. This is the power of a Shadow Blade. Even if there is a Beastmaster out there, he can initiate quite frequently. It's, you know, the Blink Dagger is very nice too for initiating, but you can't initiate. You can initiate, but you can't do it. And, you know, the Beastmaster Hawk in the area. Here it is. Here's a perfect example of why you grab a Silver Edge or a Shadow Blade, because you just walk up, you Chronosphere, and the rest of your team blows somebody up. Now imagine if he had a Blink Dagger, the Timber Chain might have been able to come out. I don't know. I think he actually probably has a Blink Dagger at this point. No, he does not. Maybe there's a Yule's on top of the Faceless Void, and then the Timber Chain out. You can imagine a play where Universe fails with the Blink Dagger. That would not fail if he had a Silver Edge. Now, he's being extremely aggressive here, and I think that's because the main damage dealer from EHOME is down. There's a Silver Edge committed. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do anything to this Ogre, but he's in the area anyway. Going for a Butterfly after this. But you can see the Blink Dagger, I mean, if you blink... The thing, I guess what I was saying is the Blink Dagger, you have the ability to blink forward, but against a Beastmaster, you need invisibility because you don't know where the Hawks are. So yeah, you can blink forward, but they see you're about ready to blink. They know you're there. That's the problem. You can't walk past a little wolf. You can't, or a boar. You can't walk past a hawk and them not know you're there. But if you have a Silver Edge or a Shadow Blade, you can. Because the only way the Beastmaster is going to see you is if the Beastmaster is the one that you're walking into, because he's the only one that has the gem. So that's the reason why I think he picked up the Silver Edge. I think that makes sense in this game. Against a Beastmaster, somebody who has really good vision over the entire game, that's why you would get a Silver Edge. Even if he has a gem. Gem makes it difficult, for sure. But the Silver Edge really changes the game, because now EHOME has to be careful. Like, EG gets to initiate on more than just a Moonlight Shadow. They get to initiate every 25, 24 seconds. Here comes a Chronosphere, the whole of EG in the area. If Universe is able to find a good gank, EG might be able to turn this into something. There's Old Lanham. He probably doesn't want to commit this for Old Lanham. Instead, he's just going to go in. He's going to try to bash the hell and he committed Diffusal Blade. He did commit a Diffusal Blade charge for that. Beastmaster blinked in, tried to get an ultimate, tried to roar Universe there, be able to kill Universe, but Universe was a little too quick. EG in the area, Moonlight Shadow's committed, going to be able to Silver Edge. So Universe can walk in, he can potentially bash and Manta Style and Diffusal Blade kill somebody. These three things are going to enable him to kill somebody if they're out of position and they're not a priority target. If it's a priority target, he's probably just going to pop his Chronosphere. Or at least a target that can escape, right? And at this point, pretty much everybody can escape except for the Warlock, who doesn't have a Blink Dagger and probably never will have a Blink Dagger. Okay, I clicked at the wrong time. My bad. I'll go back a little bit. Sorry! You knew it was going to happen. As soon as I click on something, you knew it was going to happen. So if it's a priority target who can escape, he can just go ahead and pop his Chronosphere and get him out. Although at this point, a Warlock would be a priority target because a Warlock would have to buy back in order to be able to use his Chaotic Offering. So EG's positioning here is really good. They have two wards. They actually... They commit a scan to that bot? That's awfully strange. That must have been a EHOME scan. So Universe Silver Edges. He's walking on this high plateau. All of EG in the area. There's Old 11. He does not even think twice about this one. He immediately Chronospheres on top of an Ancient Apparition Ultimate. The Beastmaster is dead, but where's the rest of EG? EG is getting killed by EHOME here. Fear finally gets his call off, but it's not going to be enough. They're not going to have enough follow-up damage to get a kill during the call because of the two BKBs. Universe not going to be able to do much. His ultimate is offline. His Silver Edge is offline. They're not helpful. Even though he had a Chronosphere, even though PPD's ultimate was committed to kill that Beastmaster, that's great and all, but, you know, and they killed, by the way, they did kill a Warlock. That's great, Beastmaster Warlock, but what's the rest of the team doing? That means there's no Chronosphere, that means there's no Ancient Apparition ultimate, there's Fear. The damage from Fear is extremely underwhelming. Zai, the Shadow Demon with the Soul Catcher is not bad, he doesn't do a ton of damage himself, but with Soul Catcher he increases everybody else's damage, of course. But Mirana, question is, she probably committed all of her bursts onto Warlock. And all of that going into Warlock, and then all of the rest of the damage going onto a Beastmaster. What's EG going to do? Because EHOME can just completely turn the fight from that point. Juggernaut is going to be able to kill. I mean, he is pretty well. Yeah, look at that Abyssal Blade. He's got a serious amount of farm right now. And the Timbersaw, of course, produces ridiculous damage with pure damage. This is a difficult position. EG still has a Mirana down for 36 seconds. They're probably going to lose their two of their barracks here. And Universe looking for a Chronosphere engagement. He's in a position. He's Silver Edges. He wants to move forward, trying to help prevent any kind of backline support from EHOME. And instead, he sees no opportunity, so he comes right out of it and uses the opportunity to farm a little bit. He has plenty of damage here. What's he going to go for? He's going to go for an Orchid and then a Bloodthorn. And that's going to be a nice initiating tool as well. Because if he comes right out of a Silver Edge and he just silences, say, I don't know, the Timbersaw. Timbersaw ain't getting out. Timbersaw ain't going anywhere, although you could probably Yule, so that wouldn't be bad. But if you can silence the Warlock, that's going to be helpful. So Warlock can't cast the Chaotic Offering at that key moment. If you can silence the Ogre Magi is not going to be able to Bloodlust or stun, or even better, if you can silence that Beastmaster, that's not going to be a roar for ever how many seconds, and that could potentially be a key to a fight, although he is going for a Refresher. So EG surviving that push somehow. Universe wasn't able to do too much in that fight. He was looking for an initiation using the Chronosphere, but didn't get it. He might Silver Edge here, walk past the creep wave, which is what I like to do. Doesn't have a lot of backup damage though, so if he comes in here and he ultimates, he might not be able to follow it up. Although PPD plus Fear is probably enough, especially if Universe can get an ultimate or Chronosphere right on the edge of the enemy. Then the Fear can probably go up and initiate as a secondary initiation. So you can see that EG at some point did actually get that gem, but the Beastmaster just bought another one, and that makes sense. And he's actually got a cheese now, so that's pretty good. EG sitting in the base. They scan that little raised area to the left of their mid lane, trying to look in that jungle to see if they can find any EHOME players. Nobody there. They didn't realize EHOME smoked all the way back in their base. I'm not sure. Both teams, I don't think there's any wards in the entire map at this point. And EG maybe saw that Hawk flying by their mid lane, so they're probably looking for the entirety of EHOME to be in that upper jungle area. And they see rest of EHOME. The rest of EHOME is actually mid lane. And so the question is, does EG move out from the base? Probably not. Beastmaster is probably going to lead the way with the Hawk and the gem. Beastmaster gets got, then EG is going to be able, or EHOME is going to be able to just respond to whatever EG does. Beastmaster not the best Chronosphere target at this point. They really need to capture the Timbersaw or the Juggernaut in one of those Chronospheres, or perhaps the Warlock. The Warlock's not a bad target. And the problem here is that the Warlock gets all the way up to this base. If he's able to get his ultimate off, then that ultimate's going to wreak havoc in the base. And so EG really maybe wants to try to keep this initiation outside of their base. But no such luck. EHOME in the area, led by an old chicken. He probably has, I'm not sure what he has. By the way, Faceless Void did pick up the Crystallis. He is close. He's thinking about that Bloodthorn. He is currently in Viz. He actually Shadow or Silver Edge for this. There's that initiation. Oh, he was just thinking about it, but he actually gets hexed, and he gets ulted. There were two Timbersaw things on top of him. Here comes the Golems, the second ultimate. He actually time walks off nearly half of the damage, or almost all of the damage, I guess. He's able to avoid it. Now can EG turn this fight? Yes, the Shadow Demon is dead, but the Chronosphere is online, and Sumail outputs a ridiculous amount of damage. Two heroes right in the row. Old Chicken, are you going to die? Fear actually blinks on a different target. Oh, Lanham going to be the target from Sumail. Universe going to try to jump in here and do a little bit of damage to Ice, 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 but he is in trouble. The bashes are great, but the Bash Lord is not Universe this game. He has to just get the hell out because Timbersaw will own him, consistently own him. So they have to back off. That was a Chronosphere committed. Shadow Demon still down, but they did kill an Ogre. That's not the worst thing. Universe walks in. Sumail with the huge amount of damage blows up the Juggernaut. Universe going in on Ice, Ice, Ice. Going to bash into a Culling Blade. Universe ready to initiate here. He has a Diffusal Blade if he wants to slow somebody down. Is he going to commit it here? There it is. Diffusal Blade committed on a Fenrir. He's going to die. Not their preferred target, but they do force a buyback from Timbersaw. They've killed two additional heroes. Warlock is out, does not have a buyback. Ogre Magi still down. So EG now on the offensive. Somehow, don't know how, holding their barracks. Look at that. Like no damage to the barracks. So this is tough. This is every time EHOME pushes, they fail. Or almost every time. You can see the Raxmar missing bottom lane, but almost every time they fail. And when they do fail, EG sweep back. They come back like a rubber band. They flash back. They fly back. Snap back. That's the right word. Sorry. I'm going for whatever verb I can go for. It's a long cast, 58 minutes, and I'm not used to casting, folks. My larynx, a little sore. Anyway, enough of that. It's like EHOME, they backed off for the moment, waiting on all their troops to come back. Reinforcements coming online. EG picking up a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Demon. Universe saving for buyback. He's got 3,000 surplus. I guess he's waiting to see how much. He's actually checking to see how much he has. Waiting to see if he's going to get this Orchid. He probably doesn't want to reveal the Orchid just yet, because he's going to go for a Silverthorn. Goes ahead and commits to Oblivion Staff. Well, don't spend too much money in one place there, Universe. Still has a ridiculous amount of surplus. So he's ready to go. Here comes the Moonlight Shadows into a Silver Edge. They're looking for this jungle. They get a good initiation. They might be able to stop EHOME and push into EHOME's base. They see nothing, and they immediately start farming. And they don't bother waiting around searching. They just go ahead and start farming because they need to quickly push this top lane in. There's barracks are exposed for EHOME, although EHOME's going to be pushing into mid lane here, going to be pushing into bot lane. EG needs to get out. They need to hit TP back. Actually, Void does not. Oh, he actually picked up boots. I didn't realize that. So at some point in the past, I don't know, 30 minutes, he picked up boots, and that's going to be really helpful. As I was saying earlier, if you're up against a split push, you need to be able to move around the map a little faster and not have to constantly commit to a TP slot for a TP. So he's getting to the point where he's 6 slotted, so he needs to be able to get in these fights and move around quickly and quickly get back to the base. It's an absolutely essential component. It's more important than a Bloodthorn, certainly. So Bloodthorn combining the power, the crit power of a Crystallis with the silence power of an Orchid Malevolence. And he's going to be able to shut somebody down pretty well. And if you combine the Soul Burn increased damage with the E-Blade, somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to die. I wonder exactly how that Orchid works, because I'm sure that's magical damage. Okay, initiation onto PPD. Universe actually comes in, and Chronosphere's 2 guys. That's going to blow. They're going to blow up their Beastmaster there with Sumail's all of his damage. Universe just trying to bash the Ogre Magi. He gets out. Look at all these golems running around. This Chaotic Offering offered somewhere on the map. Universe can allow the Moonlight Shadows to help him avoid some damage. He's actually looking for a reinitiation here. Potentially get a couple bashes, but he might be the one that dies. There's a stun. A couple of chakrams coming in. He actually successfully avoids it. Time walks out, gets a Force Staff from a helping friend, and he's looking for an ability to get in this fight. He's not Manta styling. I'm surprised. I guess the Manta style is illusion just going to die here. Just lose it for something here. Old Chicken actually jumps in, gets on Zai. Zai's going to slow up Old Chicken. Here's going to be a huge amount of damage on Old Chicken. And Fear comes in. Sumail blowing up Old Chicken. That's death to Old Chicken. Now, this is going to be the opportunity for EG to potentially push these lanes back. Once again, EHOME, not the best high ground. You know, even with the Chaotic Offering, there's 4 golems running around. But once the stun and those golems are committed, EG, unless they're losing 3 people, it looks like they're able to snap back pretty much every time. Their spacing is perfect. They're able to get in these fights and wreak havoc, and EHOME's just not able to kill off enough of EG to be able to push the high ground and finish the job. Universe playing an important role in this because he's wreaking havoc in the back lines. By the way, something you can't do without a Moonlight Shadow or Silver Edge. He gets his Bloodthorn. He's set up to do some decent damage. TP's on a creep here, enabling the quick push. Those boots are absolutely essential. EHOME not going to probably buy back on the Juggernaut because they know they're going to lose this Rax anyway. They, however, are going to buy back, I think, when EG go top, which means he probably ought to just have bought back in the first place, saved himself a little bit of time, and be able to do something about it. The Warlock Ultimate is not online. There's an Ogre stun onto Universe. He gets the Chakram damage. He's got Upheaval and an Ultimate on top of him. He gets disrupted, prevents some additional damage. Chakram's still going to be waiting for when he comes out. He's stunned once again. He's going to have a Force Staff. He's almost going to die. The Time Walk trying to resuscitate a little bit of his health, and boy, that was a lot of damage. You can just see the way EHOME can just chain damage and stuns onto EG, especially with the Ogre with an Axe. So Universe needs to heal a little bit. The problem here is he doesn't have it. He's going to have to stay back. Sumail's going to have to now lead the charge. And blows up a little bit of a creep. What the hell you call those little creeps? But EG decides to get out. They're going to have to be careful because the bottom lane is now being pushed in. Their window is closed. That's it. Yeah, it was an Necronomicon unit, that was. So, all right, what does EG go for next? Faceless Void. What do you do? Well, I wouldn't know what to do in this situation. I guess BKB is the solution. You can switch between a BKB and a Manta style. You use the Manta style, then you use the BKB. You switch back to the Manta style. BKB cooldown's done, you switch back to the BKB. I think maybe that's what he's going to be doing. This is a 7-slot zone. Hard to start managing your inventory. I would not probably be able to do this. I'm not very good at the game. You know, I can understand the game. I can figure it out, but when it comes down to actually the skills and the mechanics and being able to do it all when you're actually in the game, I just lose the ability to think, you know? It's like I only have so much ability to think, and when I'm actually controlling these heroes, I lose that, and I don't know why. I wonder if you guys do too. So EG, they left somebody at home. That's Fear sitting in the bottom lane. He's going to have to counter Helix his way through those creep waves, those big fat creeps. And it's pure damage, so that's going to be pretty helpful. Universe looking for the initiation here. Sumail in the air, he is. That's going to be potentially somebody dead. Universe kind of scarily pops a Mantis and then slowly walks away. That could have been death to him. There were not a whole lot of team members to help him out if he got caught, so kind of lucky. We're going to farm up this jungle. Fear having pushed out the bottom lane and Fear plus PPD pushing out the mid lane. They're going to potentially join their two brethren here in the upper jungle. Thinking about going across the river and maybe getting a gank across that river. They were able to put up a ward, but maybe the Hawks and all the freaking, you look at that, three units just pushing out over the EHOME jungle to see what's going on. And if EG saw that, they know that EHOME's going to have vision. They could actually use that as an opportunity to set up a bait. We'll see if they do. I don't think they will. If you're going to go up there, he might actually, yeah, I don't know. He's being very, very cautious. It looks like somehow that ward either died or was dewarded. So, EG, not really sure what's going on here. They use a scan to see if there's an enemy pushing this high ground over here in the bottom lane. What they don't realize is that EHOME is Roshan. He's killing Roshan. So, I wonder if PPD is going to send out a, yep, there's an Ice Blast. That's great. It's a great scouting Ice Blast. Yes, they killed Roshan. Very well done. You know, it's really hard for a scrub to be like making fun of PPD, like one of the greatest Dota captains and players that has ever lived. Which isn't saying much. I mean, Dota's not exactly like that old. Dota wasn't around when I was a kid. Man, I played Counter-Strike. I played Battlefield. A lot of Counter-Strike. I played WoW, man. Back in the day, I played WoW. Back when it was big. And got a lot of friends that still play some of those games. Nobody I know that still plays Counter-Strike, though I greatly enjoy a good Counter-Strike game from time to time. We played StarCraft. We played Warcraft. Played all the good stuff. We hooked up our computers through IPX cables in my friend's basement. He had all these crappy, like, 200 megahertz computers. Man, we loved that. Those were good old days, back when playing computer games required some skills. You had to build the computers. You had to network them together. You had to figure out how to get these different versions of the games to play nice. You had to go to your, game hacking websites to get your free versions. Get your no CDs. And anyway, good times. No longer. That was all before Dota. Dota now the new game. Amazing game, really, if you think about it. The ability to have all these games going at once. 10 players in one game. Pretty much seamless, flawless, lagless most of the time. Though occasionally you will get the unfortunate lag. So EHOME, back to the game. EHOME pushing in all sides. This is the noose tightening once again. Constricting around EG. The inevitable push. The question is, can EG survive this one? There's now a Juggernaut with an Aegis, and that was the mistake EHOME made last time. They pushed without an Aegis. They have an Aegis now. EG is ready. Universe sitting at the top lane. The rest of EG positioned to try to intercept any creeps coming in from the bottom. And also counter-initiate mid lane if possible. There's a scouting arrow. Almost hitting old chicken there. Somebody just, I don't know, EG Fear looking for that blink in. Universe looking for that initiation. They saw the Hawk flying in. There's a shadow. Moonlight Shadows. Here it comes. The Hawk is in the area, so they have to be invisible if they're going to try to counter-push this. One of the great abilities, one of the great tools of a Mirana. Universe itching to start to initiate there on that Timber Saw, but they don't know where the rest of the enemies are. They're a little bit skittish. And they're probably going to have to wait for EHOME to go on them. EHOME kind of takes, they're kind of jumpy, and reality is they probably ought to just wait. They're doing a good job just pushing the tower. EG moving out. Timber Saw in the area. Fear jumps in. He's the initiator, trying to save that Chronosphere. That's a successful gank attempt on the Timber Saw. There's the 3-man Chronosphere, catching all the guys walking in. It doesn't matter. There's not enough damage to follow it up. There's the Chaotic Offering. Is he going to die? I don't know what's going on. He got disrupted. There's the ultimate onto Zai. Universe going to die. There's another Chaotic Offering refreshed. I'm surprised he didn't save that for a little bit later. Not really necessary. Sumail putting out a lot of damage there. He might kill Old 11, but actually, he's probably going to get a kill in Old 11. There it is. Old 11 dead. Old Chicken dead. Dota. Old Chicken had the Aegis. You were wrong. Beastmaster dies, and he's the one that has the Aegis. Old 11 is permanently dead. Fenrir, you're definitely going to die for his troubles. Universe had bought back. Old 11 caught by a call. There is a Dagon death right there. Timbersaw bought back. He needs to do a lot here. All of EHOME is in the area. They're trying to end this game. All those golems, time ticking away. Universe, 113 seconds left before he is back in this game, and that might be a crippling, deadly blow to EG. EHOME able to make that work despite the amazing initiation from EG. They did not even have to commit the Chronosphere. They used the Fear Call, which is a perfect initiation, followed by Mirana burst damage and an Ice Blast from PPD, but it wasn't enough for the rest of the team. Once the Chronosphere was used, that was it. The whole team was down. Once again, EG falling, Fear down 121 seconds. And what is EG going to do? They are going to lose this barracks. That's what they're going to do. EHOME buying back on the Ogre, trying to keep full strength here. Sure, he's going to TP into this area. Mirana, Sumail has to be careful. He wants to put out damage, but he also has to avoid it. Well, pretty much all the cooldowns, ultimates here from EG, or EHOME used, and Beastmaster gets a little too far. Doesn't respect the damage from Sumail. He is down for 113 seconds. No buyback. EG going to potentially slowly pick these guys off, but it might be too late. EG losing all of their barracks here. Is that going to be enough? PPD committing an ultimate, whiffs completely, and he's going to die. Good job, PPD. I gotta hit you a little bit. Why not, right? And EHOME. They mega creep EG. And they're ready to finish this up. They're not backing down. PPD going to get disrupted. Hopefully save his life here. Fear's still down. PPD's life is saved. No, it's not. He's dead anyway. Sumail and EG still in the area. PPD's not all that important. His ultimate already committed. Sumail continue to blow up these heroes. He actually is able to get a kill on Timbersaw thanks to an additional Dagon from I don't know who that was. Maybe a Shadow Demon. So that's not so good. EHOME had they're Beastmaster down for 50 seconds. Timbersaw down for 85 seconds. Juggernaut, I don't know what he's doing. Aegis is down. Warlock's ultimates are starting to come back online. Ogre is in the area, so I don't know. I don't know if that was the smartest move from EHOME to commit there. They potentially could have just backed off. If they have backed off, EG would have had some real trouble trying to fend that off. EG now, Universe pushing out the mid lane. Gets mega creeps using his Mantle Illusion and his Vlads as much as he can here. Still doesn't have a BKB. BKB not being the most important thing for him right now. He needs to be able to save for his buyback. And here's the push. Illusions. Zai. Universe pushing mid lane. Sumail pushing top lane. Fear holding off bottom lane. Can EG do this? It's unclear. I don't think they're going to be able to, certainly not going to be able to finish off EHOME. They got 27 seconds left until the Timbersaw. The question is, does EHOME mess this up? That is ultimately the question here. EHOME could easily fend this off if they just are careful. PPD is not in the area, though. He's going to have an Ice Blast online just in time, so we'll see. All four of EG, or four available heroes from EG, are here. They're going to push in on the T4s. They're ready to do this. Sumail, the real threat here. Universe does have a Chronosphere. He wants to save this for the right opportunity. Fear, and potentially he's going to be the one that gets got, and they're going to blow up Fear, but it doesn't matter. Universe is going to actually be able to Chronosphere on top of the Beastmaster. It's a dead Beastmaster. Universe hexed up. He's going to start bashing Old Lanham. Meanwhile, tons of damage and shit happening on the left side. I can't watch, though, because Universe is sitting here killing Old Lanham. He's going to go for Fenrir. He's going to kill Fenrir. Fenrir dead. Old Lanham dead. 3 members of EG dead. What's Old Chicken? Oh my god, Old Chicken going to get bashed to death, even though he puts a BKB. I think the bash might go through. No, it does not. And what has happened to EHOME? EG push into EHOME's base, and then EHOME falls. They fall one after another. They're not respecting, I guess, the power of EG, or maybe they hit the wrong target. Fear, probably not the best target there. Universe TP's back. Old Chicken in the base trying to end this game. Does not respect the damage of Sumail plus the ultimate from Ancient Apparition. And now with 120 seconds left on Juggernaut. He is not back in this game. Can EG do it? Can they get up to the tier 4s? They've got Mega Creeps against them. They have gigantic Golems against them. Universe have half health. He's having to use his illusions. Thank God he has a Vlad's. He wouldn't be able to survive here at all. Zai coming and doing his very best to disrupt, create some additional illusions. They're going to have to blink forward. This is a matter of time. These are every second right now counts. EG has Mega Creeps pushing in on their top lane. They've got Mega Creeps pushing in on the bottom lane. Only 2 heroes here mid lane. They only need 2 heroes because all the rest of the team can TP to them. But nevertheless, it is so hard. Universe just bashing and bashing his way to success. What's he going to do? He is going to pick up... He's going to pick up a Divine Rapier. It is Rapier territory. We have a Divine Rapier on a Faceless Void. That is almost unheard of, although at this point in the game it's 75 seconds, and if they can get just a few hits on these towers, they're going to blow up these towers very, very quickly. Actually, Sumail coming in and blowing up Fenrir. Lincoln's Fear used, I think, countering something. Doesn't matter. Zai finishes off Fenrir. Universe sitting and focusing on the towers. He's got mega damage here. He's not going to be able to stop this. Nobody's going to be able to stop this. Chronosphere is available if necessary. It doesn't matter. Divine Rapier for the win. And that is a good game from both teams here. My God. Okay, so... I've already cast this once from Sumail's perspective. I've already seen the game once by watching it in real time. And now I've seen it from Universe's perspective. And this is the reason, I've seen 3 different perspectives and I've seen 3 different games. How amazing is that? And, with watching it the first time, I wasn't able to watch everything that was going on. I had the casters kind of selecting what they were watching. Sorry about this. There it is. Sorry about... sorry, I had the, these. I was watching it in real time. I wasn't able to see everything, and then I was watching it from Sumail's perspective, and it seemed like a completely different game. And I watched it from Universe's perspective, and the only thing that seems to be in combination from Universe's perspective and Sumail's perspective and what I watched before were Mega Creeps. Lots of Mega Creeps. I saw, Universe, or basically Sumail was the main damage dealer in that, and then Universe was playing the initiation role. He did a ton of farming. He did some really good initiations. He made some really smart choices, thinking very carefully about the kinds of items he needed and would need throughout the rest of the game. And he ended up being 7-6-24, obviously not the best record on a Faceless Void, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they beat EHOME. And I think the key to the success in this particular game, obviously both teams, either of these teams could have easily won. But Universe played a very important role because the way he used his Chronosphere is he saved it for the right moments. He didn't just blow it and then allow Old 11 to ult him while he was in Chronosphere and all that other stuff. He waited for the opportunity. He wanted to catch Old 11. He wanted to catch, it's not Mew anymore, but anyway, he wanted to catch Timbersaw. He wanted to catch Old Chicken if he could. Even Fenrir is potentially a target because of the Chaotic Offering. And then the ability to zone out these players, the 4 melee heroes, really important role there for Universe. Also, they had an initiator that was allowing Universe to counter-initiate, sort of. Fear was the one who was going in there and drawing all the attention, and then Universe was going to go in there and Chronosphere. So the Universe presented the most threat, I think, to this team. Of course, Sumail did too, which is why I watched Sumail, and I cast the Sumail game first. His ability to put output damage was unbelievable, and I don't think EHOME really, truly realized that. I mean, they potentially could have won that game if they had just backed off after EG had gotten mega creeped. But But Universe getting that Shadow Blade, basically disrupting the enemy's EHOME's ability to team fight. It's one thing you have great team fight heroes. Timbersaw is a great team fight hero. A Warlock, great team fight hero. Ogre Magi, and basically all of these heroes are really pretty decent team fight heroes. And how do you stop that? Well, you get in the middle and you put a giant time-dilating bubble in the middle of it. Or you threaten a giant time-dilating bubble. Or you run around invisible and you just bash the backliners. He wasn't mostly a damage dealer, and I think a lot of people, and myself included, think of Faceless Void as primarily a carry damage dealer, but he's not. He's an engage-disengage, and he's a positioning hero, and the ability to disrupt enemy team fight. And so much so that even the Chaotic Offering wasn't able to deal with it. What do you learn in this game? Well, you learn, how to itemize a Faceless Void, I think, pretty well. You saw he needs pretty decent regen if he's going to be in a tough lane. The time walk is really helpful. I think I've cast another Faceless Void game where the time walk was very, very handy at avoiding a lot of damage, and that is very, very helpful. He did it numerous times in this game. He didn't go like a Radiance build. He went mostly an Initiation build. He built the Silver Edge, which is devastating against a Timbersaw. Obviously very, very good against him. But also good as an initiation tool. He didn't get the Blink Dagger. He got that instead. He got the Vlads, very helpful. Even end game, very, very helpful. And he got a Manta style, and he built up. He didn't just save for one big item because that's part of what you're supposed to buy. He built up. He built the items that best suited what he was doing at that time. And then he played according to the items that he had. So, and of course he had the team. EG, a fantastic team. So what do you do as a solo queuing a Faceless Void? Well, do a lot of time walking, Chronosphere when you have a friend around, ping a lot, like offer your friends millions of dollars to come help you out on ganks. I don't know, something like that. But needless to say, I think we can all agree that the Faceless Void play in this match was amazing. And you can see how much work the Faceless Void did. Why Universe is a fantastic player, and why Faceless Void, at this point in the meta, and even in the post-TI meta, still very, very strong. Very, very effective hero, especially when combined with good range damage dealers and people who can initiate, other people who can initiate and do good damage. So that's all, folks. That's all for this episode of the Scrubcast. Good luck. Have fun in your games, and may the Faceless Voids be with you.